Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's goody, bro?
Man, everything's good in the hood. Uh, hey, Lamont Roach, bro, you got to learn how to finish these fights, fam. Just want to put it out there, bro. Real talk. All these draws, bro, that mean you ain't finishing. You ain't sealing the deal.
No
You getting
draws.
her up. She
Oh.
she 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 coming to your room. It's getting all hot and steamy, but she leaving unsatisfied, bro. You gotta finish the fights, man. And stop whining. Stop complaining. My hand broke. I couldn't finish it. I feel like I won the fight. Man, you know you going into these situations, these circumstances, knowing you gotta win, bro. You can't you can't leave doubt. I think you're a decent fighter, bro, but you gotta learn how to finish. Pause. Shout out to Tank Davis. Tank won that fight. Pitbull, they getting on to you, bro. They get on to you, bro. You gotta learn how to box. Can't just keep coming in with your thick neck and thinking that's gonna get you there. Pause.
Pause.
But yeah, what's up, y'all? Simply can. Simply can. If I did it once, you know what it is. I will do it again.
I'm not even gonna call that lame. You know I was lame, but you know what I'm saying, it's your boy Mike Check in this
Oh my
business.
god.
Mike Check
Everybody
Productions
gotta
to
be your
be
boy. You not
exact.
you not you not everybody's boy.
Your man's pause. You get what I'm saying?
Pause. And what's a check? What's a check? What's the
Check.
check for?
Yeah, I run that check.
Check.
I
That's
run that
old.
check
That
and you
sounds
can
like
run
some.
that check.
You are definitely a '70s baby, bro. You're kind
Yeah,
of that age.
78 to be exact. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey, I'm
oh,
your favorite bald head beat maker. Don't step on my intro. Yeah, slide to the side, my guy.
born in
Slide
the
to the side, my
1900s.
guy. Yeah, you're right. 1978. we
God
just hey,
damn.
we just regular degular. You know what I'm saying? We just do it better.
That
yeah,
was not lit.
yeah. That's
That
okay. That's okay. Hey,
was weird.
you do it once, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, yeah, that was more lit.
That's
If I did it once, I'm gonna do
if
it
you ever
again.
if you ever say my moniker like that again. We did it
I'm gonna
again.
do it
If you
again.
ever do me like that,
I'm gonna do it again, boo boo. Yeah.
I'm
Oh
do
yeah.
it again. Check, 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 check.
There you go, Mike. Check.
Mike, check.
It's your boy, Mike.
It's
Check.
your boy.
hey,
Pause. Hey, we
hey,
ain't no
pause, pause,
backdorians.
pause. Yeah,
Pause.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
No
we got
disrespect.
listen. We got to talk the rest of the episode with bass in our voice so everybody know
yeah. Hey,
we was
look,
just
look. Hey,
playing.
hey, check
Hey,
that,
hey,
check
hey,
that.
hey, hey,
take
hey.
that, take that, take that.
No, no backdooria.
Not at all.
Hey, look. If it ain't no rain, it ain't no rainbows.
take that, take that, take that.
I mean,
What's
hey,
up,
I
man?
moved to Arizona specifically so it don't rain and get no rainbows, bro.
I'll allow
I'm
it.
just saying.
I'll allow it.
I'm just what?
What's up, YouTube? What's
It's
up, y'all? We out here, man. We out here.
uh,
We sleepy, we tired, but we out here cracking jokes and making fun of ourselves, and we doing it for y'all's entertainment. So what's up?
I tried to fill in my hairline. Mike made me feel bad about it.
No, I didn't.
So
Come
y'all
on,
ain't
don't
getting
do
none of
that,
that.
bro. Don't do that. See, that was supposed to stay off camera.
He
you
was
know,
shaming me. He was shaming me,
no,
y'all.
I
He was
wasn't.
body shaming me.
No, I wasn't. I
Look,
was being
look,
a
look.
friend.
I,
I was being a good
I
friend.
cut
No,
the locks out and I was lining myself up every 2 days. And you know, when you do that, you be trying to be crispy, but you look after like a week and a half, 2 weeks, you done went back almost an inch. And Lord knows when you're in your 40s, you can't lose an inch nowhere. Pause. See, nope, can't do that. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Sorry. Look, I'm gonna let y'all see it, but y'all can't see the liner. See, that's hair.
don't do it, bro. Yeah,
That's hair.
stay back. Don't come forward. Don't stay
And
back.
we
Right
stay
there.
way back.
That's perfect.
Y'all
That's
can't see my
perfect.
liner. You can't see my liner.
That line
Yeah,
is
I got
crisp
anything for
right
a
there.
little. It's thin as hell. I had to fill these parts in right here, bro. Just went back a little too far, and I cannot have the I
the
salute you
mic check.
hairline in
You
the.
can't have the mic check special.
I can't.
the mic check
Listen,
production.
no, no, I do not want to. I do
Don't
not
want the
want to look
mic
like an
check production.
Ethiopian. I don't want to look like an Ethiopian with gray salt and pepper hair, having people sending me 70 cents a
All
day.
right,
I don't want to
all
look like
right,
none of that.
all right. Here we go. All right,
What? What? 70 cents a day. You can grow some hair back with Mike Check Productions.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Hey, don't his face look like a Shih Tzu with the gray and the black? If y'all got a picture of a Shih Tzu right now, there's gray and black, salt and pepper Shih Tzu, put it in the chat. And put a hat on it and tell me what it look like. Hey,
Shih
I
Tzu
pay
with a
y'all.
hat. That's crazy.
If that Shih Tzu with a hat can make beats, I pay y'all. I promise to God. I'm about you. You got the
Hey,
salt and
a
pepper
Shih
Shih
Tzu with
Tzu
a hat is
with a hat.
crazy work.
And listen, the Shih Tzu got a hat on and he can make beats. I'm paying y'all. I'm sending a check or cash out. That's what y'all do nowadays. Y'all old internet operatives.
I will definitely let you have it. You got it, brother. You got it.
Hey man, another day, bro. Another day around the
Yeah.
earth.
Yes, sir.
Another day around the earth, bro.
What we talking about today? What we talking about today? I heard I
So we are
heard I
gonna
heard the
talk
word
about.
around town was about social media. So what we talking about
Yeah, bro. Listen, so I have my ex-wife is an educator. Shout out to you. No name necessary, but she's an educator, and when stuff comes to me, I throw it at her because I think she has a different perspective, and she can give me a perspective from a teacher, bro. Um, man, I feel like social media is raising these kids now. Social media slash technology is raising these kids, and I just don't think the future has much substance.
today?
Um, at least as we know it, right? Because what's going to happen is we're going to die off, and that's this level of intellect and integration with technology is going to be so normal to them that I don't think um they're gonna value the natural world. So
Yeah.
I think that's a topic, man. Who's raising your kids, y'all?
I struggle with this. Like you said, Gen X is like the last generation that gatekeeps social media. And
Mm,
not all of Gen X. I'm just saying Gen X. I'm not saying all of Gen X. There's some Gen X that throw that iPad in your face and then, it is what it is. But I feel like you said, after Gen X, the millennial parents of the Gen Z, bruh, it's over. It's over now with the Gen X, but it's really gonna be done. I believe and I feel strongly that everybody shouldn't be a parent.
mm. Wait,
And
can you say that one more time?
I believe just because you have the ability to have kids does not mean you qualify to be a parent. Let that breathe.
Yeah, let that marinate, y'all. And look, listen, this ain't even talking down on those who are trying who maybe, but s- bro,
We
I
calling a
said
thing a
this.
thing. We calling a thing a thing.
Yeah, bro. Some of y'all should have spent that 450.
Again,
What? I'm sorry, bro.
no,
It's some damn beats
no.
out here, man.
I do not
Spend the
subscribe, nor do I endorse that last comment.
listen. I respect somebody who can be honest with themselves and know in advance I'm not ready for this thing. I'm not ready to cultivate a life. I'm not ready for the sacrifices it's gonna make. I don't want to put this creature on the rest of the population.
Creature.
Yeah,
Hold
because some of
on.
these kids is coming out
Let's
as
talk
creatures, bro.
about it. Let's talk
Some
about
of
it.
these
Then
kids
we
is creatures, bro.
you about to turn this to a whole nother conversation. We're gonna save this conversation
Let's
for
go.
another day. We are
No, we
gonna
gonna get
talk
into it
about
all.
the A word. We're gonna talk about the A word.
What's the A
Brother,
word?
what you're talking about, deletion. Fetus
I ain't
deletion.
talking about. Hey, bro.
Remember I
I talk
sent you
about.
that
I call it
hold on.
450
Okay, the 450
or
deletion.
six.
Yeah.
It's probably 650 now. It used to be 350 back in the day.
Remember I sent you that Breakfast Club interview with Grits and Eggs, right?
Yeah.
He like, no. And I was like, yeah, they kind of like us. You know, they mirroring the things they went through, we went through.
Hmm.
Buddy was adopted. He was one.
Okay.
He was one decision away from being deleted.
Bro, we all probably were. You was one swallow away from being deleted.
Exactly. Dang,
Who
one swallow. That's
knows?
crazy work. Oh my
It
gosh.
could have been, bro. You don't know.
That's crazy.
If your daddy had game, I would. If my daddy had game, I probably wouldn't have been here.
The point.
She
The
got what
point.
she
The
wanted.
point I'm trying to make is, if you were one swallow away from being deleted, look how you turned out. Is what I'm saying.
Nigga, bro. Hey, listen. I'm not an example, but I
No,
get
you are
what
an
you're saying.
example. You just said we all are one swallow away from being deleted. So, all right, we're one decision away from being deleted. So,
Yeah.
my point is, why would you delete your fetus just because it was conceived in a bad situation? You don't know what that fetus is going to turn into.
So let's talk about this, bro. Let's
No,
talk
we're not
about
going to talk
this.
about it. We're going to speak on it a little bit. We're going to stay on topic.
Oh, okay. We can stay on topic. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead. Say your piece, though. No, say your piece.
bro. For those of us that can be honest, that understand that we're not in the position to make the sacrifices nor provide
Adoption.
this. The, I'm not taking. I don't want, bro. I don't even want to go there. Don't come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. I don't want to do that, bro.
We ain't going to do it.
Listen,
We're not going to make a topic out of this. It's not the topic for tonight.
you trying to bring up the other A word? I think that's even worse.
Wow. Okay.
Bro. Like
I'm gonna
I
take
have a
my notes.
position on that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
take
notes.
notes. I have
That's
a
gonna be a
position on
good.
that. But my point of saying that is that, bro. I think if we could be more responsible, right? I think the ideal way, bro, is that children are brought into this life with a plan. Two people that have a long-term goal.
Are they?
I think that's the purpose. What does your book say?
Oh, the purpose. Okay, okay.
Goodness.
There you go, making it. Hold on, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Why
You
you
act
keep
like you
doing
didn't
that?
understand it because
I do
it's low
understand it.
hanging fruit. It's low hanging fruit. Um, no, I say that to say this, bro. I, bro, we're starting to see the true effects of poor planning, um, and overstimulated and over sexual um mentality. Um, uh, 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 we have a dynamic of people who don't truly value life. We find ourselves trying
Hmm.
to, like, these kids are coming out
Those
here
are
without a
bars.
plan, without a process, and we find ourselves trying to pick up the pieces and fill gaps that these kids have had since birth, and we're doing that late, and it's tough, bro. The world is haywire. The world doesn't operate off of morals anymore. Um, Anything goes. Um, their boundaries aren't true boundaries anymore, and I think that um these are all things that you should be taking into consideration once you're deciding to procreate, right? If you're going to have a child, you have a responsibility not just to that child but to your family, to yourself, and also to the society that child is going to eventually be a part of. Why do you think kids is killing each other and murder is not nothing to them? Having an op
Right.
is an accomplishment. Wearing a shiesty and acting out on that is an end thing. That's because the person who birthed that person wasn't the strongest influence in their life. They may not have had a plan. They may not have had an environment around them that supports life or encourages life. I think children turn out to be, most of the time, what their biggest influence is. If your child's biggest influence is the block and the internet, then who's raising your kids?
Very good. I like the way you segued that because I was getting ready to
You
segue it
welcome.
for you, but you did it. You did it.
You welcome. You
He
welcome.
brought it back full circle. I'm sitting here taking notes so I could bring it back full circle, but he did it. My
Pretty
guy.
good at that.
My guy. All right.
It's a long clap.
I know, right? We sitting here like,
Call that Call that the soul clap.
Clapathon, right? So tonight's topic is who's raising your kids, right? Is social media raising your kids? Well, I think we're both parents. We both had to jump this hurdle. We both had to cross this bridge with introducing cell phones and social media uh, apps to our kids once they became a certain age. I'm not perfect. Um, I thought that me and my wife were on the same page as far as cell phone usage, what time to put the cell phone on the charger. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep the cell phone after a certain time. Putting the parental controls on the cell phone. Um, we tried to play both sides. You know, didn't want to be dogmatic about it and keep them totally away from social media because that's like being a pastor's kid. You know, you try to totally shield them away and then they just go buck wild. So we tried to introduce it in a way to where it was healthy, quote unquote, right? With parameters, with safety barriers. And even with those safety barriers, with the parental controls, with the time limits, bro, it's even with all of that, bro, it's an untamable beast. It really truly is because they got apps that can bypass this and bypass that. Um, you got friends. Let's say I'm a child and my parents got all these parental blocks on there. When I go to school, there's other people with cell phones that don't have those parental blocks. I can still, you get what I'm saying? I can still see what I need to see or attain what I need to attain. Bro, these kids are so smart. They communicate through Google Docs. Like they can find back channels to get around whatever parental control that you have. So I say all that to say this. Social media is a demon. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It does more harm than it does good. Um, and I do believe that social media is raising our kids because before social media, and in your day, our peers and our social experiences were our biggest influence, right? Before social media. And I don't care how strong the parental structure was, you still had to step outside and go to school. You know, you spend so many hours with your parents because if your parents got a job, you spend maybe 4, 5, 6 quality hours with your parents. And then the rest of the day, you're outside at school, extracurricular activities, right? So
Hmm.
if we're going to weigh it on a scale, we spend more time with our peers than we do with our parents. So the same thing with today, there are no peers. It's social media. Social media has replaced the peer. And so I do believe that social media is absolutely raising our kids. And we're trying. Now, to your point, you were saying there's parents who just shove a device in their face so they don't have to be bothered. And so what do you say? What's a great way to fight against the inevitable? Because the social media is a new peer for our children. So, what is your strategy, or what are the things that you've tried to implement to fight back against the new social norm, social media?
Whew. Well, first off, you said a lot. Before I give that take, I just want to throw something out there, bro. Just a couple of gems that you dropped, bro. Um, as a parent, well, when we were growing up, um, because of the fact that you said that, if you got working parents, their influence is gonna be there, but their influence is gonna be minimal because it's the environment that's around them that's probably gonna have a bigger influence on your kid. And I think the parents of our generation, we understood that and we knew that. And now thinking about it is that's the purpose for our parents trying to move us into better neighborhoods, right? Because we understand the neighborhood is the big what was a huge contributing factor to who your child was going to be. So it used to always be in the back of your parents' minds. Let's try to move to a better neighborhood so we can raise our kids. So we raise kids. We don't want our kids raised around here. We want our kids raised around that, right? Well, what's crazy is that just using you as an example, you move your kids to a different neighborhood, but the influence you can't take away because the influence is not the neighborhood per se. The neighborhood is almost a secondary influence.
Right.
The bigger influence is that phone, um, which is crazy. It's crazy. Um, so for me to answer your question, um, I stay in they stuff, bro. I stay in it. I stay in tuned. I stay a part of. I make sure that my kids know my involvement is there, right? I make sure I'm there in their most vulnerable moments, their most tense moments. I keep the real world brutally honest with them because I don't want them to get caught between
Hmm.
what they're seeing and what's legitimate. I question their legitimacy of what they're doing all the time. Not because I'm trying to be the parent that don't want to give up the past and let the future go, but because I want my kids to continue to question so they understand reality for themselves. It pisses me off when you ask your kid a question and you're like, "Where did so where do you get that from?" It is. I know it is. I saw it on TikTok. Um, I question their resources. Um, I play the game, bro. I stay involved. Bro, you hear me? I act like I'm a kid at times. I get them the leeway. But what I had to understand is, in order to maintain that, I gotta I gotta be open a little bit to kind of what they doing too. So I have done the TikTok with my daughter, right? I will play the games. I will
Hey, make sure you send that link to that TikTok. I'm just saying.
not going, bro. Somebody's universe, but yeah, uh, check in with my son's playing something online. Let me be a part of that, right? And part of it is to bond because they want, I want to be on my level, but also
Mhm.
I know how important it is to be the primary influence in your child's life. Um, that's that's my fight against it. I've gotten to the point, especially recently since they're teenagers, you got these iPhones. Guess what? I can look at your iPhone and I will equate it to your success, whether that's in school or socially or wherever it is. I can look at your screen time. I can look at what you're accessing. Let's talk about that. Oh, if you don't have a reason, if your reason's not making sense, I shut it down. I put my kids on restriction. They only got to have an hour of social media a day. That was over the summer. But what I
Mhm.
noticed now, they're in my face. They got to interact with me. They got to do things. We did a lot. That's why I took that cross country trip, right? Cross country trip. We all together. No cell phones. Let's put them down. Let's talk. Let's look at some of this that we driving past. Let's go stop and experience some of this, right? And I think just that in those moments, um, allow us to be the biggest influence in their life. I think what has happened is, um, parents I think I taught you and what we shared is they'll shove that phone into a kid's face so they don't have to parent. And what happens is that phone becomes the field trip. That phone becomes those family moments. That phone becomes all the things that are replacing the things that they should be experiencing with you and through your family dynamic. So, um, my solution to that is you got to beat the monster, and I find myself every day finding ways to beat the monster, and I make myself familiar with their monster. I learn who my kids are. I learn what their tendencies are. As I'm watching them and their tendencies, I find ways to counteract that. Keep them active. Keep them active in things that they're going to have to be social about. And I don't allow them to um, I don't allow them to accept social media as absolute truth or absolute reality. I tell them the truth about what they see. Tell them the truth that people just doing that to draw your attention. I give them that reality, and I think nobody knows what the perfect solution is, but that's at least what I'm doing, and it's worked.
I like the point you made. It was the biggest. It was the most impactful point. You said you like to stay involved. It's been my experience that a lot of parents over the years, as a kid and now as a parent myself, the more your parent is disconnected from your world, the more that your parent is stubborn and don't want to accept the new technology, whatever that looks like for whatever generation, that's when your kid feels like a parents just don't understand, right? Or your parents don't get it, or they stop respecting your words. When you become disconnected from their world, then that's difficult. I don't try to stay connected or try to stay involved. I just so happen to know technology. It's not something I purposely do. We're just a part of a generation where technology keeps expanding, and as the Gen X, we have to keep moving with the technology, and so therefore that affords me the ability to stay on the same playing field as my kids, right? With these different social media platforms. Um, it's a huge benefit to stay hip, air quotations, because now, like you said, if you stay involved, that's like being an involved parent when your kid is in school. If a kid knows that their mom or dad is involved and they're gonna be there at the PTA meeting and they actually watching them grades and they're gonna hold them accountable, they move a different way because they know, like you said, they're involved. So when you're involved, like you spoke about the screen time, and you're asking questions, you're involved in their reality. This is their realm of reality, social media. So imagine if you was a parent that didn't really involve themselves with social media, or didn't know the crux, or didn't know the inner workings of social media. That would be a handicap to the parent. That would be an advantage to the child to be able to run circles around the parent because the parent is don't know better. But being involved helps. It's not a perfect it's not a perfect solution to controlling social media, but it absolutely helps because when that child knows that, okay, that's that structure. When the child knows that, all right, they watching my screen time, they questioning me, they're questioning what I'm watching and the relevancy of it, and if this is real or fake, or what does this mean in the real world, or if they just know the inner workings of Snapchat and all of these other uh, social media mediums or platforms, then they'll tend to walk a straighter line than if you weren't involved. So I think that was what you said was spot on. That's the start. You got to be involved. If you're not involved, you probably shouldn't have kids, bro. You got to accept the responsibility. You got to be involved, whether you want to be with the social media
Ooh-wee.
or not.
Can you repeat that again? If you're not involved, what?
If you're not involved, if you don't want to do the work, you probably should not be a parent, bro. This is
So
work.
so let's talk about that. My thing, bro. Women control the gateway to life. Um, and I'm solution based, bro. I'm solution based. So I say this to our women out there. I'm empowering y'all. Don't take this the wrong way. Be selective with your vaginas. You have a responsibility to control the history of the universe. You control what product is being put out. You control the foundation of each and every human, meaning that you have more control than anybody else on if a child is going to be raised by a single parent. You have more control than anybody else on if a child is going to be married, if a child is going to see marriage. Um, you have control over that. No, can you control the man? No, but you can control the man that enters your body, and the intent in which you're deciding to share your body. Um, it takes two parents to raise a child. I think everybody would agree with that. And with where social media is doing the job of two parents now. One can't
Bars.
even do it.
Bars.
One can't even do it. So, ladies, be responsible with yourselves. Make sure that the people that the gentleman that you're laying with, make sure that you guys are considering the obstacles of being a parent, considering the outcome of that Netflix and chill. Right? I'm not saying I'm an advocate one way or
Wait,
another.
hold on. We're not gonna let you slide. What'd you say? What
I said consider the outcome of that Netflix and chill.
did you say? Netflix or Netflix?
Netflix and Netflix. Hey, sometimes, sometimes, hey, I'm gonna
Ah,
keep it a buck. Sometimes
ah.
Netflix leads to a little nut flicking.
Oh my gosh. Even if you didn't say it, that was Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill, right? That's really what it is, Netflix. But
Oh. All right, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
but no, for real, man, y'all got control. Y'all gotta exercise that control, and it's okay. It's okay if I listen. I respect this, y'all, and I'm pro-choice. I encourage you, if you don't feel that you can be responsible and monitor a child with the constraints of social media, if you are grossly attached to being a single parent, if you don't
Adoption.
want a broken household, no, don't, no. I'm gonna say this, y'all. Do what you need to do. Terminate it. You have
Oh
the
gosh.
choice.
Never.
Hey, we can disagree to that,
Agree
but
to
I
disagree, and we will
yeah,
talk about it.
we can, and I'll say this. The reason why I say that is because I think it takes a person of character to understand they aren't prepared for something. Now, I think where Mike and I differ is at the point where you decide that you aren't prepared for that
Right. The
opportunity,
action.
how
Right.
you want to handle it. I'm
Right.
of the mindset that, hey, give yourself a full reset, give that child a full reset, because I think the best place to raise a child is with their natural mother and father. That's the best place. That's the best place. I'm always saying best case scenarios. So I'm saying if you have an opportunity to go get a reset, do it responsibly and reflect on that moment and then reflect on your body, right? If you're going to do better, you got to do better. So, um, I'm not an advocate um that if you're not able to be a parent, you have sex, give the parent up for get the kid up for adoption. I don't think that's the best option, y'all. And I apologize. That's just a personal stance. I don't have anything against that other option. But you know, I'm saying be responsible with yourselves, ladies. And I guarantee this: the more a woman demands and requires, the more men will have to step themselves up and be clear and concise on who they are and who they really want to be. So, ladies, you set the bar. You know, you set the bar to change all this. Exercise it. Stop exercising that walk. Did we lose you, Michael? I guess this conversation was a little sensitive for Michael Montgomery. Just understand that that the recent views and points expressed are not necessarily the opinion of Agree to Disagree podcast as a whole. It is simply my thoughts and my opinion, y'all.
Crazy work.
It's amazing work, bro. It's amazing work.
But I respect it.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
crazy. It's crazy work, but I respect it.
You
It
think abortion is a better option? I mean, you think adoption is a better option?
That's self accountability. Yeah, both of them are skirting self accountability.
No, both
Both
of them are self
options,
accountability.
both options, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is skirting self accountability. The biggest thing that you preach, because you made a mistake or aren't ready, should not remove your burden.
Well,
If you
okay.
did the
So,
crime, you do the time.
nah, not if you got a good lawyer. Pay the 475, y'all.
Come
Five
on,
seventy
Ken.
five, whatever it
That's okay.
is.
It's cool. We'll chop this up on another episode. We're not going to unpack that because it's just not. Yeah, we both
Well,
got lives, so
listen,
we got to get up out of
listen. Yeah. So going back to the main point again. Um, yeah, y'all letting this internet raise y'all kids. I know I've seen it so many times where a baby can be 5, 6 months and they in the back seat or they're in the company of some other adults and just to shut them up, y'all throw the phone in their face. Y'all don't understand what that's really doing to that child. The way that a child reacts and responds to just that device is counterintuitive. 90% of the time that y'all giving these kids these phones and these devices are times that y'all should be bonding with these kids in some way, form, or fashion. I remember when my son, my youngest, was probably 8 months. Um, I used to just sit him down and just watch him. Let me see what his tendencies are. What are you gonna do when he do this? What is he interested in touching? What does he like? Does he like to jump off stuff? Okay, let's play jump off this. Does he like to flip and roll? Let's I literally analyze my kids, try to figure out what this thing is gonna be.
here.
Um
As you should.
and
That's what a
and
father's
and
job is. Yeah.
yeah, and instead of the phone, now don't get it twisted. There's some educational things that we did control with that. I'm not saying we're perfect, so don't get that twisted. But I'm saying that my influence is the biggest influence. The memories that he'll have from birth are the things that he and I did together, the places we went, the actual experiences that we had, the little things that I taught him. You know, um, because I think that's what raising your child is. I'll always be an influence on the child. If you got a kid that's 3 years old, 5 years old or younger, and you take a cell phone from them and they start crying, that means you failed as a parent. Keep it
Yeah.
a buck.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
What do you
Five and
think?
under,
What can you
it's a problem.
compare? What can you compare from this generation and beyond to our generation? What was the problem? What would be the comparative problem? Social media is a problem today that was raising our kids. What would you think? What would you believe the comparative would be for our generation? What was raising us when the parents should have been raising us?
Well, so this is the thing. I think the parents were raising this, but I think our parents were young, so their actions weren't. At least my parents, for the most part, my parents had me 19 and 17, right? So all the way up until I was 10, it was still in their 20s, bro. Right? Think about that. They didn't necessarily have a plan for my life, right? So I'll tell you what some things that I was influenced that I saw. I saw cigarette smoke. That was common. That was normal. I heard cussing. I saw fighting. I saw weed smoke. You know what I'm saying? I saw parties. I saw a little bit of violence. Um, you know, those things were very influential, right? My daddy was no punk, so guess what? I felt that was the influence I had. My daddy used to have me punching and fighting on my uncles when I was very young, so that's where I got my aggression, right? Um, my point of saying that is that influence are gonna come from whatever is the thing that is most consistent with your child.
Hmm.
Um, so whether that's positive or negative, I think a parent should have a part in that, and I think a parent should have some form of plan with that. I know with it being 2025, it's probably almost impossible to keep a child away from social media or a device, but I think it makes so much sense to at least have some type of plan with it instead of using it to
Right.
replace your parenting. It's one thing that okay, let me, I can't entertain my child at this moment. Here, I'm gonna give him this phone. However, give him some boundaries. Put some restrictions on there. I made sure that my son's tablet, we had an iPad, and he'll if he uses my other phone, the only app he can get on there with is YouTube Kids. You know, so I can control the criteria of what he's looking at, and shoot, every so often I'm on with him, watching what he's doing, learning what he's learning, because I'm a
Yeah.
part of it. It's not just here and go. You're exposing your kids to so much, and you don't know what's gonna trigger your kid. You know?
I treat but to your point, you said the approach, right?
Yeah, I'm hungry again.
Me too, I swear I am.
Just get-
I treat social media like sex. And this is what I mean. Social media is inevitable. Like it's here to stay. It's only gonna get, it's gonna only gonna evolve. Same thing with sex. Sex is here. It ain't gonna change. People are not gonna stop having sex. Social media, people are not just gonna put it down. So instead of trying to shield my kids from sex or shield my kids from social media, it's incumbent upon me as a parent to educate my kids about social media. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
So, like you were saying, you gotta talk to your kids. You gotta show them screen times, the importance of screen times. What's the effects of screen times? You gotta ask questions. Why are you watching this? What is the effects of this? That education of social media will equip them to be able to self-monitor, uh, equip them to ask questions, and don't just follow what social media says. That would just equip them better to deal with social media. It's not going nowhere. You can't shield your kids from it, bro. You can't. And I'm not saying give them the whole playbook. Let them have social media, have your guardrails, but you still have to um, hold their hand and usher them through that process of social media. Because if not, there's other problems that social media brings, like self insecurities.
Oh yeah.
You
Self
know,
worth issues.
there you go. Yes, it's
Warped sense
yeah.
of reality.
Oh my God, that's yeah, that's 1A and 1B. What you say? Self. What'd you say? Insecurities and then self worth of reality. Those that's 1 and 1A. Yeah,
So let me throw this out there too, bro. And this is the truth, man. With my kids, I got to make sure that I practice what I preach. I tell my OG that all the
that's true.
time.
Yeah,
How you gonna tell them they shouldn't be on their phones when you on your phone all the time? You can go on my phone right now. You ain't gonna get no social media apps. You might get
said it
YouTube.
again. How you gonna what?
How are you gonna try to monitor them and regulate them on the time that they're using their phone on social media when you can't self-regulate, bro? Listen, I take that approach with a lot of things. One thing my kids have never seen me do, they never seen me smoke. I don't smoke. My kids rarely see me drink. If I drink some red wine. They've never seen me drunk. Um, I try to practice what I preach. When I'm with them, specifically with them, I'm not in that phone. I'm in their business. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Because I think that regardless of not your kids, They have an affection for you. They want to emulate you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If they see success in what you're doing, they'll probably see things in themselves that they want to remove or want to add because they admire those things about you. Um, and I think that's natural. But yeah, kids will call you out on your hypocrisy.
What
Ladies,
good is that?
men,
What
fellas,
good is that? And what
is
good
not. Let's.
is? Hold on, real quick. What good is your position if your spouse doesn't follow suit?
Still
Not
have to
saying
talk
I'm
about
not
it.
talking to your position. I'm just saying in general. If you have one parent that's social media conscious and wants to set an example, but you have another, but the better half is not on the same accord, what effect will that have on the child? Do you think that child will still look at you and be like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah, bro. A child will
or
find
or
anything.
or will that child follow the path of least resistance? Because going on social media is easier than not going on social media. So if you standing on principle
I
and your
disagree.
screen time is zero,
I disagree.
I didn't make a stance. I was asking a question. I didn't make
You
a
said
stance either
going
way
going. You said going on social media is easier than not going on social media. I disagree.
for a child, not for you.
Yeah, I disagree. It depends on this. It depends on what the influence was. But keep
Okay.
going. I don't want to cut your point. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying, is the effect the same? If both parents aren't on the same page, if one parent is stringent and
Hmm.
has structure and watches their screen time, and the other parent is not on the same page and doesn't see the importance the same way the first parent sees it, does the child still follow the one that has the balance and the principles and the structure, or does the child follow the path of least resistance? Because you form a good cop, bad cop. If you got one child, I mean, I'm sorry, if you got one parent telling you no, this is the way, blah 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 blah, and you got another parent that's not really pushing that,
So
well, that
is your question? Is Are you asking me what the outcome is, or what's the
yes,
solution
what's the
to the
outcome? Yeah,
situation?
what's the outcome? No, I don't. No, not the solution. Because
Well,
there's dynamics where one parent feels strongly about this and another parent doesn't feel so strongly about that, and so the child has to choose now, right? The child has to decide, which parent am I going to follow? Is it the path of least resistance, or is it the path of, oh, okay, that's beneficial?
okay. So let me say this. I had a similar situation in my household. I had that situation in my household. Um because I'm in their stuff, they had to adopt what I put as boundaries and guidelines. I don't care what the pushback is. And they had to find ways to justify to me why they should be able to be on. And if you can't justify your action, you have no reason for that action. That's called an addiction then. So we had that tough conversation. Um, and it was my daughter for that scenario. My son, I didn't give him social media. He still don't got it, right? And guess what? He's doing fine without it. You know, no Snapchat, no Facebook, no. He had TikTok, but we shut that down because it wasn't necessary. I respect his character, right? My daughter did it, but she got to the point that she was scrolling so much. And when I started showing her, look at your grades. What are you trying to do for the future? Okay, you cool. That's what you want to do? You know you about to be out here. 2 years away from being out here. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no revolving doors. So what's your plan? I started holding them accountable. You want to be a state champion for basketball, for football, for these things. What are you gonna give up? What's more important? Is it more important scrolling, or indulging yourself in these things that are gonna get you to your eventual goal? You're trying to go to college. So, I find ways to test my kids. Um, my voice is always the most prominent voice in the house. It's not the only voice, but it's the most prominent. And I exercise that prominence um, as I see necessary. When I put my points out, right, as to why, there's no argument. You can't argue me because I'm coming with facts, I'm coming with numbers, I'm coming with statistics, and now you got to justify why this ain't the way to go. You feel me?
Mhm.
And so, the way that I run my scenario is that I will never belittle anybody, right? But I will put it out there. Okay, so if this is what I'm imposing on them, what effect do you think you see if you're not able to manage to discipline yourself with that? We all got to check ourselves, bro.
Yeah.
And
So
as
so what do you so with 8 minutes left? No, I didn't mean to cut you off. With 8 minutes left, what do you think? What's a good solution? Now we're talking to parents who have let the horse and left the barn. Social media has got a hold of their kids. They the iPad or the Snapchat or
it,
Instagram. It's already then it's there. So how do we
okay,
rein it back in?
so I look at it like this, right? Um, when you buy a pack of cigarettes, right? On the side of the box, it says what? What did the Surgeon General tell you have to put on every box of cigarettes?
The warning label, the cause and effect of smoking.
This may cause cancer, right?
Right, right.
So I don't finance cancer. It's the reason why I don't smoke. If we know what the situation is and what the outcome is of social media, if this parent is to the point they're inclined and they um they understand that this is not working or benefiting their child and they see where it could lead to, right? The solution is, who's paying for this? Who's financing this access? Cut it off. Get in they ish. I tell you this, if they're walking around with this, right, which gives them access to everything, if you turn it off and take it from them, they gonna get it, but they gonna get it a whole less likely than they would if you paying for it
Right.
every month.
But what about the parents that don't know? I'm saying, like, you're commenting on parents that know that it's bad, but how do I rectify? No, what's the solution for parents that have the mindset that, oh, it's not really a big deal? How do you? Let's say you had a homeboy that disagreed with your thoughts on social media, and he didn't feel like it was a harm to his child to consume, social media and be affected by it. How would you lovingly, because that's your buddy now, that's your boy, they ain't just a stranger. How would you lovingly, uh,
I'm the wrong person for that question, Mike.
so you could stand in on love?
I'm
You
not a martyr, bro. I'm gonna put it out there very raw, especially with an adult.
okay, well, okay, well, give us your take. You gonna
Who
put it
the
out
f
there
is
raw?
raising your kids? You gonna let your son be on the internet all the day, bro? What's up with, like, I'm gonna hold them accountable. I ain't biting my tongue. If I care, I ain't. But at this point, bro, I have to think that, like, unfortunately, Mike, you said this in the earlier episode. I give everybody the same credit I give myself. I think you got enough common sense to see this don't make no sense,
Mhm.
right? So let your kid be it. Let your kid do that. I'm not bailing your kid out. I'm not contributing to no BS that your kid got into because you're not raising your kid properly, bro. If it's some things that, and that's just me, bro. If there's some things like, if, and not you, because I definitely care about you, but if there's some things that one of my homeboys um is dealing with his child, and I saw some characteristics and saw things going down that road, and I think that he was intelligent enough, but just didn't say nothing or didn't have the balls or nothing to say nothing. When that hit the fan, he dealing with that, bro. What am I supposed to do? I got my own to worry about. I give
Okay,
advice. I give advice, but I don't know how you interject yourself in somebody in the rear of somebody else's kids. I can't observe you raising your kid,
You've already
and
done it though, Ken. Had conversations off camera where
we're
you've.
different. Our relationship. You talking about somebody else?
I'm
I ain't got
talking
that for.
about, and I'm not trying to put nobody's business out here, but you've had situations with kids where you had to usher and give game to somebody else's kids so they wouldn't influence your kids.
Oh, you talking about my
Like
nephew?
you went that extra mile.
You talking about my
You
nephew?
you went that extra
Yeah.
mile. I'm not talking about nothing. You went that extra mile. So now you saying, oh, whatever.
Oh,
That's not who you
okay,
are.
so in that situation, right? Let me explain it to you. I got a relationship with my nephew, right? Um, so with the relationship with my nephew, I can have conversation with him because I had influence on him. I tried to have some conversations with him early, right? When I started seeing adolescence was starting to come in, puberty was starting to change. So I was able to build that bond with him, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I went to his daddy with some things, right? Before, especially with what I see, I would go to him. If I didn't get the response, I feel some type of way, right?
But you didn't give up
Well,
on it. You didn't give up on nephew. You still tried to.
hold up. I didn't give up on nephew, but now he's a little older. I ain't finna have no conflict with nephew.
Right.
I brought it to your daddy. That's how you want to operate. You got it. Now, let me tell you this. We know the results of some of that, right?
Oh yeah.
When when
Oh yeah.
when 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 those things start happening, God forbid they don't, but we know they're probably going to. You got to deal with that, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a fact.
guess what my response is gonna be, bro. And this is gonna be my response to him, because again, hey, especially with my situation, I ain't raised no parents. It just ain't gonna work for me, right? But my conversation for him is, you don't remember we sat down and talked about that? Okay, yeah, we talked about that. I can't put nothing on your books, bro.
No, that's legit. But the
I can't
point
put nothing
was
on
you
your
gave
books, bro.
effort. You gave effort. And
Yeah,
once that
but no,
effort don't get met, then it's whatever. It's up after that.
it's up. I'm not putting nothing on your books. You gonna have a conversation with your pops. I'm like, yeah, bro, we talked about this a couple of years ago.
Right.
Sorry, that's a bad investment. Like, I'm just saying, bro. Somebody come to me with something and they're giving me some game or some knowledge. Like, bro, you gave me some game and knowledge about my son, right? Had to apply it, right? Could not do nothing else.
Right.
So yeah, bro, I know what you're saying. Um, it's like, bro, like you said, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Looking dead in this camera. If somebody see this, I don't care. Raising a kid ain't for everybody. Just cause you can bust a, just cause you can orgasm and carry a, don't mean you're supposed to be a parent. Period. You're dragging kids. You're dragging kids through your BS and hoping something happens. Be real. Be honest with yourself. No, you ain't ready. If you ain't got your stuff together, why are you bringing the kid into the world? Why do you keep bringing kids into the world?
That's another
Whoever it
topic.
applies to.
Yeah. That's another topic. Yeah, for
You
sure.
ain't right. You being selfish to yourself.
Yep.
Bro, have the nut, make a swallow. That's what you should have did. This is the truth, bro. This is the truth. Let's keep it a
Yeah.
bug. Come on, Mike.
Making my editing harder. It's okay. Pause.
You ain't gotta edit
All
that.
right,
You
y'all.
ain't gotta edit that.
We have reached the 1 hour mark. I hope we
We on
brought y'all
time
some value.
tonight.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is for you, May May. That's my
I
girl. I
just
love
caught
you
that.
so much. I love
I
you
just
so
caught that.
much. We making a sacrifice.
She probably sleep by now. It's over with. Yeah, that's
You
done.
gonna get woke up
I'm gonna
tonight.
wake up.
The best part of waking up is my check in your mouth.
Hey, leave my wife out of this.
Hey, leave that out your wife. Hey, wait. To add to the topic, if you are prepared, then go do your thing. You've raised some amazingly productive children. None of them are perfect, but the world don't have to deal with their demise. Good job. Go knock that thing out. Left-handed. Hey, sometimes you gotta let them know where you're from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hey,
She know where you
pop
at.
out and show something. Show
Look,
something. Huh?
She know where you at. Sometimes you gotta let her know where you're from. you gotta take her back to when you ain't have much. When you was trying to put an impression in. Look, I tell them, hey baby, I gotta go back to the day when I had to show you my potential. You know what I'm saying? I done got a little complacent. Let me go back to when things was rough, when I had to, when I needed that thing. Oh my God. Hey, y'all, he's trying to keep a straight face.
I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. Make sure y'all click the like button, please.
Like, subscribe, take care of your kids. Be responsible, be accountable. And it's okay, y'all. Again, it's okay to know that you're not ready for this. Y'all gotta understand. This is wild out here today. Do you want your child to be a part of this unprepared? Think about that, y'all.
That's all we saying. You support
on that note, like, subscribe. Shout out to where you are. Put that in the comments. Man, if you got kids, man, you got kids that you love, you've been raising. Shout yourself out in the comments, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I got six on record. I probably raised like 10 or 11. So it happened. A couple possibles here and there. But my point of saying that is these ad-libs is crazy. My point of saying that is this is not for the faint at heart, bro. It is not a job. It is a responsibility. Not just to yourself, not just to your child, but to the community. A lot of the issues that we are going through is because parents aren't involved and active. You have to stay in the ish. You be the biggest influence on your child, and make sure yours is cleaned, right? But you make sure you're the biggest influence on your child, and that influence is positive. Chances are we won't be looking at your kid on Snapchat and America's First 48 and all that shit, right? Keep it a buck.
Yeah. All right, y'all. On that note, because he gonna pontificate and he gonna be on the soapbox all night dropping gems. That's sponsored by Gatorade.
Not sponsored by.
Right. Not sponsored by Gatorade.
Yeah.
And on that note, brother,
we out of here.
Deuces.